What's going on, guys? Seancutshair back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to handle a tricky crown, or cowlick area as some people would call it. When you get a crown that's very springy and wants to stick up everywhere, it's very hard to deal with, and a lot of us don't know how, so we just chop it off, and that's really not the right thing to do. So I'm going to show you all how to approach this, how to get it to lay down, and how to cut into it so we can maintain that crown and give them the best haircut possible. Alright, so to get started, we're going to go ahead and saturate the hair down. You guys can see once it's wet, I'm really going to shake it out and try to get that crown to show me where it wants to lay. So as I start to comb this out, you guys can see the hair will want to lay one direction, and if I take it the other way, it's going to fight it. So I'm just going to find which way it naturally wants to lay, and then we can take that part from the crown up to the recession and get our side part. Now I'm going to come in and do block graduation. We're going to work our way all the way around, and if you guys can see where the hair is laying, where it is touching the rest of the hair, that's where we're going to set our perimeter. That means it's long enough to lay down and it's not going to stick up when we get done. So we've done that. Now we can come in with our foreguard. We're going to feed straight up off the head with the number 4 closed and blend right into that weight that we began with, the perimeter that we started, and that way all that hair will be long enough to lay down where it wants to. After that, we'll come in with a 3 guard close. We're just going to stack our guards. We're going to work our way down to a 2. So now I'm taking the 3 up into the 4. Then we'll come in after that with a number 2 and cut the rest of the side down to a 2 before we move on to our taper. Start with our first step, the bald guideline. We'll come in with our slimline and bald that out. Our next step will be done with the clipper with a lever all the way open. We'll go with about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, and then I can start to work that line out from the bottom. So clipper closed at the bottom, clipper halfway open above that, and then of course we have the open section above that, and that should be blended together. If you guys can see, there's a dark spot to the right above his ear, and I don't know, I've never noticed that cutting his hair, but you're gonna see it's not gonna come together very well. So we're coming through with an open 1 right now, and you can see that that dark spot is just staying there, and I'm really gonna have to work at this. So I'm not really sure what that's from, and it's really gonna give me some trouble, but you can see we're in with our 1 guard closed now, and it's still not quite going away. So these steps are not working 100% like they normally do, but now we'll move on and we'll work our way back down and clean that up. So now we have a 1.5 halfway open, blending into the 2 that we started with, and now we've worked through our steps so we can work our way back down and try to get that dark spot out. Now we'll just work our way down. This is a 1 guard open again, and I'm just going to work back through that section. I'm trying to lighten up that dark spot. So now we're back to the clipper closed, 1/2 guard, and then back to the open clipper until we're happy with that. And you guys can see it's not really coming together. I really struggle with this. Of course, it's sped up on here, guys. I even switched clippers to try to get it, and you'll see the end result will be okay, but it did not come together very easy. So this is where you guys have to cut to color and just go after that dark spot until you are happy with how it looks. It does look worse from this angle right here, but you guys will see when we line it up. It does come together okay, but you can definitely see how difficult it was, and really there's still a little bit of a line there. It was very hard and it just would not come out. So I don't know if it's from his mask or from him wearing glasses, but we work at it best we can, and we'll move on. So we're gonna go ahead and do the edge up. We did a nice C cup. We're gonna go ahead and just edge up this corner up by the part, give him a nice little vertical bar, and then we will line up around the ears and move on to the back. Alright, so moving on to the back, you guys can see how springy his hair is. So we're just gonna feed that clipper right up into the hair and make sure that we don't cut it too short so it sticks up. So this again is a number 4 closed. Immediately after that, we'll come in with a number 3 closed and blend into the 4. Then we can cut the rest down to a 2 and start at the taper at the bottom. Okay, so same steps as the side. We'll start with our slimlines, do a bald guideline. We'll go ahead and bald out all the hair underneath here, and you guys can see there's a lot of swirls in there. I didn't cut that hair down to a 2 because I knew I was going to cut it all off. So it's a little bit longer than it looks. We're not really cutting off 2 inches of hair, just some of the light spots, and we're getting a nice consistent line all the way across. Then we can work our taper up from there. So we'll bald it out, then we can come in and start our open section. Now we'll come in with the lever all the way open and do our next guideline, and you guys can see these are my Stylecraft alphas. For some reason, guys, they weren't running very smooth, and I picked them up that day and they were feeling better, so I did use them on this haircut. The closed clipper on the alpha is actually so close that I can use it to take the bald line out, so I've started to use them a little bit more for that, and then I will use my walls most of the way up after the open section. So we've done our open section. Immediately after that, we'll come in with the clipper closed and start to work the line out from the bottom. Now we have the lever halfway open, and we're taking that last line out in the middle of this section. Our next step will be the one guard all the way open. We'll go up about an inch. We always have more room on the back taper. You guys can see there's a lot of 2 guard above that, so we can use about an inch to 3/4 of an inch of space. We'll do our one guard all the way open, and then we can start to work that line out underneath there. Now I'll come in with the one guard closed. We're gonna go 2/3 of the way up into that section. All that should be left behind is the line between the open section and the one section and our half guard. Again, I always call it the magic eraser. It will come along and erase that last line. And then above that, we started with a 2 guard closed, and so our 1.5 will do the same thing. It will take out any darkness that's left between the 2 and the 1, and we'll be done with the taper. You guys can see the 1.5 is polishing that out. It's going to finish up all of our blend on this taper. We'll go ahead and edge up the left side that we started with. I'm not going to show you guys this other side of the head. We will operate the same exact way that we just did. We took our number 4 up into all the length on that side, then a 3, then a 2, then we tapered the sideburn out, lined it up, and we'll move on to the top. Moving on to the top, the first thing I'll tackle is combing all that hair over to where it's going to lay. And we're going to take that vertically and take off all that weight that's laying all the way over there at the side. Then that will work as a traveling guide, as you guys will see here in a second. I'm just going to pull that up in the front. You can see where we started, and I'll connect that across the front take off about 1 inch, and then we can work that all the way through the rest of the haircut. So we'll just work our way back. You guys can see we'll take that inch off, then we can come through the middle section and take off the same amount following our guide and work all the way over to the other side of the head. Now I'm going to come in and do a vertical section just to cross check, make sure we don't have any peaks or valleys, make sure everything lines up and matches, and then we can move on to blending this in and finishing up the haircut. Now that we're done with the top, I'm going to come in with my thinning shears. We're just going to soften up this edge where all that hair lays. So I'm just going to go through and lighten up the tips just a little bit so it doesn't lay so bulky, and we'll work our way all the way around doing that and then move on to styling this haircut. Now we're going to move on to blow dry the hair. I'm going to use my Dyson blow dryer with my Denman vented brush. We're going to blow this top all the way over nice and smooth, and then we'll work on the front, getting it kind of up and over to give it some lift and a little bit of volume there in the front. Then we'll come in and add some products and you guys can see the finished style. If you guys pay attention to the crown, you can see that it's laying where it wants to lay. Now when we add the product, nice little blow dry, that hair is all gonna lay down nice and we didn't have to shave it off. You guys can see we got a nice finished product here. So very important, the better you get at cutting hair, the less you have to cut off the crown, things like that. It just shows that you have the education and the know-how to give your clients the best haircut possible. So there you go, guys. There's the before. You can see the crown just springing up. He has some very springy, coarse hair. And I wanted to show you guys how to tackle this crown. It is something that's very difficult. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. But there you go, guys. There's the finished product. I think we definitely transformed him. The crown is nice and spiraled and laying down. Nice finished style from my guy. Hope you guys liked this video. Hit that thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you guys subscribe for more content like this. I got lots of videos recorded and lots of good content coming for you. And I'll catch you guys next time.